Hi friends, this is Dainty Tank. Thank you for joining me. Welcome back to Butterfly Soup 2. This is part 9 in our series, Poketototonia Briar Card Area. You know the drill, you've been here before at part 9. It's good to see you again, my friend. I have missed you. I know my schedule's been a little erratic, you know why? Life. I do this on my spare time, for free, for fun, for you, because I want to be here with you. So that's why right now schedule's a little wonky. Apologies. But besides that, we are going back queerly. We're going back queerly into Butterfly Soup 2, in which we followed the Frenchman, Noel, here, who was looking up some things on Wikipedia. This better not awaken anything in me. I love it. But then she's visiting her mother's side of the family in Taiwan. And met basically the Taiwanese version of her, which is really interesting. So let's keep going and see how this goes. That evening, Noelle and her parents walk to the subway. Here's our train. We should reach the night market in a few stops. I hate taking public transit. The trains are always filthy and poorly maintained. As they board the MRT carriage, Noelle steels herself for the stench of vomit, urine, and cigarettes she's grown to expect from American subways. I was about to say, you're in California, so you're BART area. But to her amazement, the car's shiny floors and seats look so squeaky clean you could eat off of them. It's absolutely spotless. Yeah, other countries take care of their public transit. Pleasantly surprised, she sits beside her parents in a gleaming plastic seat. Sheep High Station. You can actually clearly hear what they're saying. It's not distinct mumbling like on the BART. Yeah, the BART's bad. Not as bad as New York. New York's bad. Boston's a little bit better. But there's an accent there. Boston accent. Dropping off at Harvard. An LCD screen right across from her neatly displays the names of the previous, current, and next stations. This is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. Her phone buzzes. Her heart leaps when she sees that it's a Karsha. Her heart leaps when she sees it's a Karsha? I love Akarsha so much. Everything about Akarsha is just pure joy. Why did you send this? Sadness. I thought you liked me. Even if I hypothetically did like you, why would I want to see this awful picture of you? Personally, I think it's very hot and sexy of me to play video games against little kids at Fry's Electronics and lose. It's very nice of you. Not hot and sexy. It is not hot and sexy of you. It is very nice of you to play the games with the kids and lose on purpose so they can feel like they won something. That's cool. And Fry's Electronics, I think, has gone under since then. They had all of these weird stores with, like, I think the one in Worcester was basically like a spaceship, like an alien spaceship had like crash landed into the store. Is that what you're doing? Nah, I'm back home now playing the game I bought. That's what I was doing. Is that what you're doing? It's called Portal. Oh, yes, it is called Portal. The companion cube. My cube. I love the companion cube. Dude, you'd love it. Actually, maybe. I don't play computer games. No, you'd love it. Trust me. It's not like other games where you're some guy shooting stuff. You're a girl, and it's a puzzle game. It's in a science research facility with a murder robot. Oh? I'll give you the CD. Just play it. I'll consider it after I return from my trip. Oh yeah, you're in Taiwan. What are you up to right now? I'm riding the subway with my parents. How is that? I hope they aren't giving you a hard time. Actually, ever since we've arrived in Taipei, they've been in good spirits. Good news. Never seen my mother so relaxed before. She must be happy to be back home to see her family. Oh, dang. That's good. We're on the way to the night market right now. I feel paranoid that everyone can tell I'm a foreigner. Lol, I get what you mean. When I'm in India, they can tell I'm American before I even open my mouth. Just from the way I carry myself. Her mom sighs as Noelle taps out a response on her phone. There you are, addicted to your phone. That's mean. Not addicted. Messaging is not addiction. How am I addicted? Compared to other teenagers, I barely use it. You spend so much time talking to your friends, but friendships are only temporary. As soon as it's inconvenient, they'll all disappear. That is so bad of a view. No. And actually, less statistically correct, especially if you're in the Alphabet Mafia. Alphabet Mafia tends to have a lot more continued relations and friendships for longer periods of time than Cishet. Mainly because it's not of convenience, it's like of deeper bond. But, getting back to it. That is so mean for a mom to say. Any parent to say here. Like, any parent who said, friendships are temporary, don't waste your time on them. That is cynical, and that's an asshole thing to say. Your friends don't matter, move on. Is not an okay thing to say. Period. After I moved to America for my future, not a single one of them kept in touch with me. You're saying that out of experience. Did you try to keep touch with them? The only people you can trust is your family. No. And I was so far away from all of mine. Oh, this is generational trauma she's putting on you. Break the cycle. This is another section of generational trauma that's the parent here is passing down saying, forget your friendships because mine didn't last, so surely yours won't. So, nada, you know? Yeah. The life of an immigrant isn't a lonely one. She hoping I'm going to console her or thank her for making such a brutal sacrifice for my sake? It was her own decision as a full-grown adult to move here. It wasn't up to me. Thank you, Noelle. Thank you, Noelle, for having the sense and presence to understand and put that in context. You aren't... The person who is saying this to you was a full-grown adult and made their own decisions. Period. And they were an adult. They shouldn't be putting this on you, a 9th grader. And you can't take it on thinking of it in your own present sense. Because as a 9th grader, you can't assume that they were within the same realm. An adult has all of the capabilities in the world to do their own thing. Her mom sighs heavily and stares out the window. There's a message she's always trying to impact on me. I'm lonely because of you. I don't quite think it's because of you, but like, she is saying I'm lonely. Noelle watches the scenery fly by. After half an hour, the train arrives at their destination precisely on time. Let's look for clothes. You need new ones. But I have plenty of clothes already. They all have holes in them. You should just throw them away already. Noelle browses through the sea of clothing racks with her parents. Hideous pair of beige pants catches her eye. These would complement many items in my wardrobe. She turns it over in her hand, searching for its price tag, but it's missing. I'm going to ask how much these trousers are. Do you know how? Are you serious? Of course I know how. Miffed, she marches up to the stall's cashier and shows her the pants. I ask, how much are these pants? 200 NTD. It's only about $7. What a bargain. I waist buy this. What you say? I stumbled over the pronunciation. This. I want to buy this. Okay. Ashamed, Noelle doesn't dare speak another word as the cashier bags her purchase. Excellent. Simply superb. After 6 years of Chinese school, I still can't speak, read, or write Mandarin. It's a lot to learn that language, and sometimes you're not going to always be accustomed to learning specifically that language. I am not good at learning languages, but that's because I'm dyslexic and didn't even do well with learning my first one. But that's okay. Sometimes things are just not that great for you. For me, learning languages in programming, a billion times easier. I've got many different programming languages under my belt, but like, those are different than spoken language, and Mandarin is one of the hardest ones. Specifically one of the hardest ones. She finds her way back to her parents, who are just finishing up their purchase at a neighboring stall. I'm hungry, let's get dinner at the food court. What for? There's food stalls all over the place. We could just eat as we shop. Now I want to properly sit down somewhere and have a meal. Noelle follows her parents down a flight of stairs to the underground food court. It's a bizarre space that reminds Noelle of a mirror maze. Fair. They sit down in a stall, and Noelle scans the menu, which is conveniently printed directly on the surface of the table. Something chicken, something soup. Noelle had to pick her dish based on the pictures, like a toddler would. Do you know what you're getting? I will order the oyster omelette. It's seldom seen in America, so I should take the advantage to eat it here. As the stall worker comes over and takes her parents' orders, Noelle mentally recites hers, determined not to be rendered an inarticulate child again. I know this. This is kindergarten level vocabulary. I want oyster omelette. That sounds a tad crude, though. In English, I'd normally say something like, I'd like to have the oyster omelette. What do you want to order? I want oyster omelette. The woman jots down her order on a pad, nodding. Are you American-born Chinese? My Chinese was that bad? I am. I can tell. I guess from your accent. So heavy. So heavy? Noelle's mom sighs as the woman walks off to prepare their meals. All those years of Chinese school wasted. Oh! Oh my god. You are the worst at your kid. Oh my goodness. Like, I think everybody except for Akarsha's parents are striking out in the parent, like, ratio here. Oh my goodness. No. Can you think about, like, what it feels like for them? Maybe? Empathy. Empathy? Any bit of empathy. I'm sorry I'm raging today, but I'm raging today. Oh, that face, Noelle. Their food arrives within minutes. Noelle tries a gooey spoonful of her oyster omelette. It's delicious. I would never guess this only cost $3. Really? Let me try. Parents each taste a spoonful of the oyster omelette and shrug, unimpressed. This is below average. I've had way better ones around here before. Yeah, this isn't really what it's supposed to taste like. Well, I'm never here, so I couldn't have known that. I was about to say, you couldn't just say, great. Because, like, Noelle was happy. Friends! Think of someone else. Annoyed now, Noelle takes another bite of the oyster omelette. It's the best thing I've ever eaten. And that's valid. You're allowed to enjoy your food and not have your parents degrade you for it. Should find out what this place is called so I can find it again. She looks up at the name of the stall, but it's in Chinese. I can't read it. I'd better savor it while it lasts. This omelet I can only taste once. All too soon, it's over. Noel sighs as they get up to continue shopping. You should have tried harder to convince me to learn Chinese. Are you serious? We told you not to quit so many times. But you never properly explained why it was so important not to. All you did was give me condescending lectures about how I was too young to understand why it mattered, and how I'd be an embarrassment if I didn't learn. English is our second language. It's hard to explain things to you. And it's true. You are an embarrassment. Righteous rage. If anyone says to you, you are an embarrassment to them, then they aren't worth your life to be shared with. They aren't worth your time. They aren't. Period. They aren't. Because if you embarrass them, then obviously their priorities are skewed the heck, because you are worth every bit of care and empathy and understanding. You shouldn't be held to some standard that's like this. If someone says you are an embarrassment, cut that person out, because they're not worth your time. Period. I don't care who they are. They aren't worth sharing your life with. Rant over. Thank you. I am insanely furious at that. Fuck that. Last week I saw our neighbor's son Michael mowing the lawn, and he greeted me in Chinese. Hello, auntie. See? That's what happens when you listen to your parents. Michael goes to Taiwan with his family every summer. That's the reason he's more fluent. Not because he was a superior child to me. Why didn't we just visit Taiwan more often when I was younger? That alone would have made me more interested in learning. I feel like I've been trying to understand Chinese culture by looking at it through a soda straw until now. You think we didn't want to visit Taiwan more too? The airplane tickets are expensive. We have to save up for years just for one trip. Oh. But even so, you should have done more to show me that speaking Mandarin could be a positive experience. Why do you always speak to me in English even though you can't fully express yourselves in that language? If you'd converse with me in Chinese from a young age, I would have naturally picked it up from daily use. That's a good point. You could have done exactly that. We thought you'd have an accent if we did that. That is a common immigrant parent thing, and it's very unfortunate. My grandparents were off the boat Italian, and so they spoke fluent Italian, but they refused to teach it, refused to speak it to anybody else, specifically, mainly because they didn't want to have the language passed down. They wanted to Americanize, which is unfortunate. We were worried you wouldn't fit in at school, but that's ridiculous. There's no way I would have developed an accent when everyone else I interacted with spoke English. I would have grown up bilingual without any ill side effects. Resigned, her dad shrugs. Well, too late now. What can you do? The last day of the trip. Noelle and her relatives visit the columbarium, housing Amma's, basically the ceremonial gravesite, effectively housing Amma's ashes. My mom visits this place every time she's in Taiwan. Noelle follows her grandpa into the worship hall. Agong. We cross the ocean to see my grandpa, and I've barely spoken a word to him. It's not out of lack of interest. He must have lived a fascinating life. He's the only grandparent I have left. But how do you gain access to the heart of a stranger? Where do you even begin? Tell me about yourself? Who says that to their own grandfather? Should sound like a job interview. Even if I knew what I wanted to say, what am I capable of saying in Chinese? Today is Sunday. I'm a student. She watches Chung Ha take a lotus petal from a glass bowl and offer it to the giant Buddhas. Well, we're going to pray it for Amma. take a flower petal from the bowl over there. Can I pray in English? If you have to. Unsure what she's supposed to do, Noelle does her best to imitate her parents. Hello, Buddha. I seriously doubt that you exist. But I'm sure Aunt Ma was a wonderful woman. Chunghua deposits her lotus petal in the bowl before the Buddha's, her eyes shining with tears. I miss Aunt Ma. To Noelle's surprise, her aunt embraces Chunghua like it's the most normal thing in the world. Oh, that breaks my heart because that tells me that that is an unusual circumstance for Noelle. That physical touch from parents is something that doesn't happen. And that sucks. That sucks. They're so comfortable with each other. Is that how mothers and daughters are supposed to be? When I look at my mother, the first emotion I feel is stress. Valid. Valid. She's kind of been absolutely horrible to you. Sorry. It's cold, so I have a little bit of a runny nose. Noelle deposits her lotus petal in the bowl and joins Gang, who's waiting to the other side. He smiles awkwardly at her as they stand together in silence. What should I do? I mean, now's your opportunity. Try to build a relationship in broken Mandarin, tell him I like reading or my favorite color is green. Or do I let the moment pass me by, say nothing and remain strangers? Am I a terrible person if that's what I do? Come on, we're going upstairs. I mean, you're trying your best. You're even thinking about it. Not much you can do besides what you're doing now, which is considering it even. After an elevator's ride, they arrive at the floor housing her grandmother's ashes. Alma's over here. Noelle follows everyone down the hall to one of the niches. The only thing distinguishing it from the others is a tiny name tag on the door. Not that I can read it, even if I could. Don't know the names of any of my relatives. And at this point, I'm too embarrassed to ask. Even Chunghua's name is I only know by sound. I have no idea what it looks like. Noelle's dad points to the units beside Alma's. Your mom and I bought our spots too. Already? You're only in your 50s. There's a limited number, so we made sure to reserve them before they're all gone. I suppose my parents are fairly old. They didn't manage to have me until their 40s. Yeah, that's fair. I was about to say, your parents are boomers. Immigrant boomers. So a little bit more impacted as well, because they had to come over at the same time. Yeah, mine didn't have me until 39, so right at the same cusp. And also boomers. Going off of the average American life expectancy, they probably have another 25 years left. Fair? Sniff. Noelle's mom wipes her eyes as they open the little door of Alma's unit. Will I cry when my mother dies someday? That's a great question. You are allowed to cry, even if you don't have a great relationship with your mother, and you decide to even cut them off. You're also allowed to cry for the lack of relationship that you could have had, which is also a valid feeling. I'm starting to seriously worry that I won't. What kind of monster does that make me? It doesn't make you a monster. Not one bit. Sometimes you don't have that relationship. You just don't. That's okay. You're allowed to mourn and not mourn. You're not a monster for not mourning. What kind of cold, heartless person cares so little about her own parents? People do. Because they're not cold or heartless. They just don't have that relationship. That's okay. Is there something wrong with me? No, there isn't. Do I just not form emotional bonds as deeply as ordinary people do? I mean, no, not inherently. Obviously, there's a lot of trauma they're putting on you. Like, they're embarrassed of you. They know better than you. They shame you all the time. Like, honestly, they're crap peeps so far. I was raging at that. But you are allowed to have the, like, lack of relationships. Arrow was a thing. But I don't think that's it here. I think this is a traumatic relationship. Period. When they get back to Agang's apartment, Noelle and her mom begin packing to leave. Are you all flying back tonight? Actually, my dad will be in Taiwan for another week, attending to business matters. So my mother and I are flying back alone. 1 week was too short. As Noelle fits the last of her clothes into the roller bag, Chunhua takes a seat, pulling a thick tome out of her backpack. Noelle feels a tinge of sadness as she watches her cousin read her huge academic-looking book. If I'd grown up in Taiwan, it probably would have been close. Suddenly, a strange thought occurs to Noelle. If I'd grown up here, would my personality been shaped into something more similar to who Chunhua's? How much of my personality is just a product of being raised by an immigrant helicopter mother with no friends or family around to balance her out? Would my mother and I have gotten along? The magazine Chunhua showed Noelle earlier is still out on the coffee table, taunting her. I finished packing, so I do have some time to kill before we leave for the airport. Maybe I could translate the poem my mother wrote. Noelle digs her emergency Chinese to English dictionary out of her backpack. As being a petulant baby in elementary school, all I have to do is persevere and power through learning the language properly this time. I'll simply look up each word I don't know and burn its pronunciation and meaning into memory. Simple. I'll just brain blast 80,000 characters into my mind. Unfortunately, she doesn't know a single word in the poem's first line. After spending 15 minutes pounding 7 words into her memory, her enthusiasm evaporates. This actually is incredibly difficult. I'm not surprised I have nothing to show for my 6 years of Chinese school. Feels like the language is just washing over my brain like water over plastic. Is my brain just not wired for this? I mean, sometimes, yeah, your brain's just not wired for this. But it's also like, you're supposed to start learning languages when you're younger. Could it be genetic? Even after living the majority of our lives in America, my parents haven't mastered English either. Learning languages earlier is how you do it. If you learn it very early, then yes. If you don't, you're gonna struggle. It takes another 15 minutes for her to finally overcome the first line of the poem. At last, on to the second line. And I already know all these words. Mirror, flower, water, moon. It's total gibberish. Is it supposed to sound poetic mashed together like that? Mirror, flower, water, moon. Noelle feels the urge to tear the magazine to shreds. Perhaps noticing her hands quaking with barely restrained rage, Chunhua peers over Noelle's shoulder to see what she's reading. What's wrong? Nothing. I'm just translating one of my mom's poems. Why don't you ask your mom for help? I'd rather die. Oh, okay. Maybe I can help instead. Where are you stuck? What's this supposed to mean? Oh, that's, how do you call it? A saying, like the lesson of a story. Flower in the mirror, moon in the water. Pretty much it means something that you can see but never grasp. Like a flower reflected in a mirror or the moon shining on the water's surface. Yes, you can't reach your hand through the mirror and take the flower out. It's impossible. You can only look, never have it. I see. So mirror, flower, water, moon is shorthand for something beautiful but unattainable. Pretty much. My brain just did not register to any of those words for a second. Dahi, nope. Cheers as Noelle's mom manages to zip her bulging suitcase closed. Ready to go to the airport? Let's go. Noelle gives a half-translated poem one last disparaging look before flipping the magazine shut. Is that what I've been chasing after this whole time? A flower in a mirror? If only I get straight A's, I'll have a normal relationship with my parents. Oh. If only I land a summer internship, I'll have a normal relationship with my parents. If only I became fluent in Chinese, I'd have a normal relationship with my parents. Oh my goodness. It's not on you to have a normal relationship with your parents. It's on your parents to have a normal relationship with you. Oh, I'm so sorry. What if it was never possible from the start, no matter what I did? That evening, Noelle and her mom make landfall in California. Instead of driving home from the airport, they take the BART back. Noelle wrinkles her nose. She inhales the stench of vomit, urine, and cigarettes. That's Carter's parked at the airport garage. Why not just drive it home? We wouldn't be able to get gas. It's not safe for women to pump gas. So easy for a criminal to grab you and drive away. I know, I've already done like 20 asides, so I'm just gonna keep going. You know, you see it, we know. We live in one of the safest suburbs in the entire US. Is that why she always has my dad pump the gas? Besides, I can't read fast enough. When you're driving on the freeway, the signs pass by so quickly. Oh my god. And they've got the sound of the BART. Oh, it hurts my brain. Noelle reluctantly sits down on the filthy, worn seat with a suspicious brown stain on it. The conductor mumbles something unintelligible over the intercom as the train stops at a station. 6 Miss. Breathless man enters the train car just in time before the door is shut. His eyes frantically scour its interior. Does this train go to Berkeley? It does not. This is the Fremont train. Shit! Need to get off the next station. As the train continues onward, Noelle notices a puddle of liquid traveling down the floor. What is that? Did someone spill their drink? Probably not. Ah! Fucking nasty! That bitch peed in her seat! What? Disgusted, Noelle recoils and keeps her feet as far as possible from the pee spreading down the floor. So fucking gross! Biohazard, please evacuate at the next station. What's he saying? The urine is a biohazard? We need to get off at the train at the next station. Once doors open, Noelle and her mom hastily drag their luggage off of the train and onto the concrete platform. Maybe we should have driven after all. I don't know BART was like this. You didn't know the BART was like this? We're still several stops from our destination. Noelle and her mom wait on the bench for the next train home. 9-car train to Fremont in 6 minutes. Our next train will arrive in 6 minutes. Okay. Good thing I was here with you, or else I wouldn't know what train to take. Oh my goodness. Exhausted, Noelle stares at the dark line of trees ahead of them. It's cold. Why are we here? Because the hobo lady peed on the floor? Don't be mean. Don't be mean. That's not what I mean. Why did you move from Taiwan to America? To give you more opportunities. That doesn't make any sense. Taiwan is superior to the US by every conceivable metric, and it's not even close. Taiwan has socialized healthcare, more robust public infrastructure, and one of the lowest poverty rates in the world. Facts. Americans live shorter lives. Even worse, they're not as good at math and science. Taiwan was different in the past. All you see is Taiwan now. But it didn't used to be this way. America was strong. We were scared China was going to invade Taiwan. I mean, that was legit fair. But they didn't. In all this time that we've lived in America, nothing's happened. That's true. But it could have happened. But the plain truth is that it didn't. You could have just stayed put. I could have grown up in Taiwan, like Chunhua and the rest of my cousins, and everything would have been fine. But we didn't know that. You think we had a crystal ball telling us the future? Noelle's mom perks up as the train screeches to a stop at the platform. Fruitville, Dublin, Pleasanton train. Is this our train? No, it is not. Noelle's mom settles glumly back on the bench. You know how Chunhua wants to study in America? Yes. I told her not to do it. It's not worth it. Didn't realize how hard it would be. You'll be far from everyone you know. And your kids won't understand what you're talking about. You can't communicate with them. I don't know that if you have kids in America, your kids will be American. That wasn't obvious to you? No. Yeah, that was a problem. Noelle waits with her friends for the baseball club meeting to begin. How was Taiwan? It was amazing. The subway system, it was so punctual and efficient, and the signage was so clear. If you ever visit Diya, you don't have to be afraid of getting lost or not hearing any of the announcements like you do on BART. Everyone there meticulously organizes their recyclables too. If people fail to sort their materials properly, the government will fine them up to $200. Wait, they do that in Korea too. Interesting. Perhaps Korea is more similar to Taiwan than I thought. I bet Korea did it first, and then Taiwan just stole it. What makes you think that? Diya listens with a small smile as Noelle continues extolling the virtues of Taipei's trash collecting system instead of describing any of the landmarks she visited. You must have liked it there. You're right, I did. What do you call it when you're grateful for the things your parents have done for you, but at the same time you feel like they made critical mistakes that'll probably affect you forever? Trauma? Isn't that just life? I suppose it is. Damn it. My shoelaces keep coming undone. Double knot. Noelle glances to her left, where Akarsha is crouched over, tying her sneaker laces. Why have you tied your shoelaces like that? This is the Silicon Valley, Frenchman. The land of innovation. Did you get me any souvenirs on your trip? No. Huh, meanie? I didn't get anyone anything. We had limited luggage space. We all brought back worse snacks that can't be found here, and dubious beauty products my mom wanted. Dubious beauty products? Like what? Nail clippers with bombs in them? Thank you, Min. Nail clippers with bombs in them. Why would there be nail clippers with bombs in them? All I meant was products with questionable value like skin whitening cream. Wait, skin whitening cream? Like, to make your skin lighter? Yes. Chinese beauty standards are all kinds of messed up. It's been ingrained very deeply into people's minds that the lighter your skin is, the better. It's just like in India. Yeah, oh my god. I thought it was just a brown thing. You guys have colorism too? Oh, is it similar in your culture? It's the whole thing. You have no idea. I would argue I do have an idea. My mom even tells me not to spend time outside to avoid getting a tan. Oh, my mom does that too. They have those dumb as fuck skin creams in Korea too. It's the same. It's the same. Yellow and brown parents. They match just like pee and poo. Why? What the fuck, man? Diya's done. Akarsha, have you ever considered not speaking? How mean! The second I open my mouth, you all jump to slap my balls. Uh-huh. Did you have to word it like that? I'm trying to use more phrases with the word balls in it in my normal conversations. Why? I don't know, I just think it'll add more flavor. Oh, please don't say flavor. Oh. Gag. Global warming, assemble! Team Global Warming gathers around Krista and Liz as they begin the meeting. So, we've got some good news and bad news. Good news, we have a game today! Bad news, it's just the Niles baseball team again. They're the only ones who will play us again. That's not surprising. We either win by pulling some weird shenanigans, or lose so badly we get mercied. There's no in between. So most teams we play aren't exactly eager for a rematch. We had to swear up and down you guys would be normal this time. So y'all better not be weird. Alright. Wiyakasu. What? That's how you promise in in Japanese. Is everyone ready to go? The other team got here early. Team Global Warming walks out on the field where the killer whales are already warming up. And with that, we're gonna pause that here. We're about to play a baseball game. Surprise baseball game! After lots of generational trauma. Jeez. That was so much, but it's okay. If you ever need anybody to talk to, there's always a link to the Trevor Project down below. Please take a look. I care about you. We care about you. Love you. And I'll see you next time. Bye.